The sun was shining gently over the city of Abuja. Big cars moved slowly on the road. The school gate of Federal University Abuja stood tall with many students walking in and out. Parents were helping their children with bags, food and buses. Inside a quiet black car, a family was seated. Emily, only 17 years old, sat quietly in the back seat. Her face was calm. She wore a long blue skirt and a white blouse. Her small Bible rested on her lap. She looked very gentle and peaceful. Her father was proud. My daughter is a virgin, he said with a smile. She's never looked at a boy wrongly. She fears God. Yes, her mother added. Emily is not like other girls. She prays, she fasts, she reads her Bible. Even our pastor says she is anointed. Emily smiled shyly, looked down. She did not say anything. She just nodded. This was her first time leaving home. She had never lived alone before. She was quiet because everything felt new. New city, new school, new people. When they reached the female hostel, Emily saw many other girls. Some were laughing loudly. Some wore trousers and had makeup on. Some held their phones and took pictures. One girl even walked past them chewing gum and swinging her waist. Emily held her Bible tightly. Her mother saw the other girls and said to her, "Don't follow bad girls, Emily. Don't make friends with these city children. They don't fear God." "I won't, Mommy," Emily replied. "I'm not here to joke. I'm here to study." Her father helped her carry her bags inside. Her room had two other girls, but they were not around yet. Before leaving, her parents hid her hands and prayed, "Lord, keep Emily safe. Let no evil boy deceive her. Let no bad friends lead her astray. She will remain pure till marriage." Her father prayed. Amen, Emily and her mother said together. They hugged her and left with joy in their hearts. Later that evening, Emily sat on her new bed alone. She looked around the room and sighed. She brought out her Bible and read one chapter. Then she closed it and lay down. Suddenly, her phone beeped. It was a message from her roommate, Cynthia. "Hey, Emily, I'm Cynthia. I'll be back soon. Nice to meet you." Emily smiled a little and replied politely, "Nice to meet you too." An hour later, Cynthia entered the room. She wore tight jeans and a short top. Her face was full of makeup. "Hi, are you Emily?" she asked with a loud voice. "Yes," Emily said softly, sitting up from her bed. Cynthia looked around and laughed. "Wow, you are the church type, right? You look like a pastor's daughter." Emily smiled and nodded. "My father is not a pastor, but I love God." Cynthia raised her eyebrows, listening. "Well, I'm not into all that. I like parties, music, and fun. I hope we will get along." "I don't judge people," Emily said quietly. "Everyone has their life." That night, Cynthia dressed up and left for a party. Emily stayed back, read her Bible again, and prayed before sleeping. 1 week later, Emily started classes. She walked quietly to her lectures. She did not talk to boys. She stayed away from noise. She sat at the front in class and answered questions. Other girls in the hostel started calling her Holy Emily. "She's forming virgin," some would say behind her. "She doesn't even wear lip gloss." Others laughed. Emily acted like she did not hear them. When her mother called on the phone, she would say, "Mommy, I don't talk to anybody. I just pray and read." Her mother would reply, "That's my anointed daughter. Keep it up. The Lord is watching you." But something was slowly changing inside Emily. She started feeling lonely. Cynthia had many friends. They laughed, dressed well, and got attention. Boys sent them gifts, bought food, and sent money. Emily would sit alone and listen to their noise at night. Then one evening, Cynthia returned with a new dress and perfume. "How do I look?" she asked. Emily looked at her and smiled. "Beautiful," she said softly. "You can look like this too, you know," Cynthia said. Emily shook her head. "I'm not like that." "Everyone says that at first," Cynthia replied, walking to the mirror. But deep inside Emily, something had started to wake up. She was tired of being called holy holy. She was tired of feeling left out. She wanted to know what it felt like to wear makeup, to look fine, to be admired. She did not know that her thoughts were no longer as clean as they used to be. The Anointed Virgin was still wearing long skirt and reading her Bible, but something dark was watching her from inside the mirror, and soon it will speak. Emily had not spent 1 full year in school. She looked calm and holy on the outside. In the morning, she wore her long skirt and carried her Bible to class. She still led morning prayers in the hostel. She still sent Bible quotes to her mother. It was a Friday evening in Abuja. The air smelled of food and car smoke. Loud music was playing from a nearby off-campus lodge. Laughter and shouts of students echoed across the hostel. Emily sat on her bed, holding her Bible, but her mind was far away. Cynthia was standing by the mirror, rubbing cream on her legs. "You are not going anywhere tonight?" she asked Emily. Emily smiled and shook her head. Cynthia choked. "You are always inside. It is not a sin to enjoy yourself a little." "I'm okay," Emily said softly, but she wasn't. She had started dreaming of other things. Makeup, parties, attention. At night, she would sometimes stare at the mirror, wondering what she could look like with lipstick. That night, she stood from her bed and walked to Cynthia's side. "Do you think I will look good in makeup?" she asked shyly. Cynthia's eyes lit up. "Of course, let me show you." She opened her makeup bag and began to work. First powder, then eyeliner, then lip gloss. When she turned Emily to the mirror, she gasped. She looked like someone else. Beautiful, shiny, brave. A part of her wanted to clean it off, but a new part of her liked it. But in the evening, Emily was someone else. She had changed. 1 week later, Cynthia knocked on Emily's table. "Emily, I'm going to the club. Just follow me, even if you won't dance." Emily paused. Her Bible was still open, but her heart beat fast. She stood slowly and nodded. "I will follow you," she said. Her friends now called her Two-Faced Angel. During the day, she was Holy Emily, the one who prayed, fasted, and quoted Bible. At night, she became Queen Amy, a girl who dressed in secret clothes and moved with dangerous boys. Cynthia had taught her many things. "You don't have to lose your virginity," Cynthia once told her. "There are ways to enjoy boys without getting caught." Emily was curious. She wanted to enjoy the world, but still keep her pure name at home and church. Cynthia smiled and whispered something into her ears. Emily's eyes widened. "Are you sure?" she asked. "Yes," Cynthia replied. "That way, you will still be called virgin, even though you have done everything else." And that was how it started. One night, a rich man picked them up in his black jeep. He took them to a hotel far from campus. Cynthia went with another man. Emily followed the rich one. He gave her money and perfume. Emily said shyly, "But I'm keeping myself for my future husband." The man laughed. "I don't need that part. There are other ways." Emily said nothing. But that night, she crossed a line no one would see. No blood, no sign, just pain and silence. Months passed. Emily was now in her 3rd year. One weekend, she traveled home to see her parents. Her mother welcomed her with joy. "My anointed child has come," she shouted. "We shall look holy. No earrings, no makeup, no trousers." Emily smiled. "Mommy, I'm still the same." Her father gave her a big hug. "We are proud of you," he said. "Some girls go to university and change, but you are still clean, still a virgin." Emily looked down and blushed. She said nothing. That Sunday, the pastor called her out in church. "Our daughter has been in the university for 3 years," he said. "She has kept herself. She has not followed bad friends. Let's clap for the Anointed Virgin." Everyone clapped. Some girls looked jealous. Some boys stared at her with respect. Emily smiled gently, but deep inside, her heart was not smiling. She remembered the hotel room, the secret things, the rich men, the promises, the pen. On Monday, her mother came into her room with a smile. Emily, let's go somewhere, she said. Where? Emily asked. You will see. They entered the car and drove for a while. After some time, they stopped in front of a tall building, a hospital. Emily's eyes widened. Mommy, what are we doing here? Her mother smiled. Don't be afraid. You said you are still a virgin, right? Emily nodded slowly. Good, her mother said. Let's go and confirm it, just for peace of mind. Emily felt her stomach turn. She felt sweat on her hands. She followed her mother quietly inside. Inside the hospital, they sat down in a small waiting room. Emily looked around nervously. Her heart was beating fast. A nurse came out. Emily, she called. Emily stood up slowly and followed the nurse inside. Her mother waited outside, smiling, proud and calm. She had full faith in her daughter. She has never been touched, her mother told the nurse. She's anointed. Then something happened. A few minutes later, the doctor called her mother inside the room. Emily was sitting on the bed with her head down. Her face was pale. The doctor did not say much. He simply pointed at the results. Her mother looked at it. She blinked once, then twice. Her mouth opened. She looked at Emily. Her hand began to shake. Jesus, 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 she whispered. She stepped back slowly and hit the wall. The paper dropped from her hand. Emily did not say a word. She just sat there, silent and full of shame. What did the mother see? What truth did the doctor reveal? What will happen to Emily now? Her mother's eyes widened. She looked from the paper to the doctor, then to Emily. She hid her chest and started to tremble. Oh, Jesus, she whispered. Oh, Jesus. Emily's stomach felt like it had turned upside down. She did not know what to expect. Had all her secrets been exposed? Would her mother scream at her now? Would she call the pastor? Would she even disown her? The doctor cleared his throat and spoke in a calm voice. Madam, he said, according to the examination, your daughter is still a virgin. There is no sign that she has been touched. Emily's eyes widened. She could hardly believe her ears. Her mother stood frozen for a moment. Then, suddenly, her face broke into a smile. She raised her hands and shouted, Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. My anointed daughter is still clean. I knew it. I knew she was pure. Emily felt tears of relief fill her eyes. She had escaped the biggest shame of her life. She was saved. She was still the anointed virgin. Everyone at home believed she was. But then, her mother turned and looked at Emily. Her smile faded. She put her hands on her hips and shook her head. Emily, she said firmly, I only did this to teach you a lesson. I wanted you to know that I can check at any time. Don't let the city girl spoil you. Don't let the devil confuse you. You are still my anointed daughter, but always remember that God is watching you. Emily swallowed hard. Her mother's voice was strong and sharp. She couldn't meet her eyes. Yes, mommy, she said. Her mother sighed and hugged her tightly. I know you are a good girl, she said softly. I'm just afraid of the evil in this world. I don't want my daughter to be one of those girls. Emily nodded. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She did not know whether to feel angry or grateful. 2 days later, Emily packed her bags and returned to Abuja. As the bus moved through the city, she stared out the window, thinking about everything that had happened. She had escaped the biggest secret of her life. No one, not even the doctor, had found out what she had done in the secret of the night. She felt relieved and also guilty. She promised herself she would never let her mother test her like that again. She would be more careful. She would play the holy gear perfectly. When she arrived back at her hostel, Cynthia ran up to her. Hey, Queen Emmy, you are back. Cynthia shouted, Tell me, how was home? Emily smiled faintly. It was fine, she said. Did they check your phone? Cynthia laughed. Amy shook her head. No, they shake something else. Cynthia frowned. What? Amy looked away. Never mind, she whispered. I passed. Cynthia raised an eyebrow. Passed what? Amy only smiled. That night, Amy lay on her bed, her Bible open in front of her. She read the same verse over and over, but her mind was far away. She knew her mother's trick had worked. She had been reminded that no matter how smart she thought she was, her mother was always watching. And God, well, God was watching too. She closed her eyes and whispered a silent prayer. Lord, forgive me, she said. I'm still your daughter. Please don't let me fail. But deep inside her, a different voice was whispering too. It was the same voice that had led her to that secret life. It was a voice that made her want to be seen, to be admired, to be loved. And Amy knew the battle wasn't over yet. Years rolled by like the wind that never stops. Emily walked across the graduation stage of the Federal University Abuja with her head held high, her white gown shone in the evening sun, and her classmates clapped and cheered. Cameras flashed, parents shouted, but deep inside, Emily felt a strange emptiness. She had fought so hard to keep her holy girl image. She had kept her secret hidden, so well that even her mother still called her my anointed daughter. She had attended all the fellowship, carried her Bible everywhere, and prayed loudly in church. Nobody, not even Cynthia, knew what she had done behind closed doors. After the graduation ceremony, Pastor David, the head of her home church in Lagos, called Emily and her parents for a meeting. My daughter, Pastor David said with a smile, I'm so proud of you. You have kept the faith and you have finished your studies. The Lord is happy with you. Emily blushed. Thank you, Sam. Pastor David's eyes glowed with joy. I have prayed about your future, Emily, and the Lord gave me a vision. My only son, Peter, has returned from the UK. He is looking for a God-fearing wife, and the Lord revealed to me that you are the one. Emily's mouth dropped open. Me? She whispered. Yes, Pastor David said firmly. He needs a woman who is holy, pure and anointed. Someone who has never known a man. Emily felt her heart skip a beat. Peter was handsome, tall, and gentle. The whole church admired him. She had dreamed about him sometimes, but she never thought she could be the chosen one. Her parents beamed with pride. Hallelujah, her mother shouted. Our daughter is so blessed. Emily forced a smile, but inside her chest, fear began to grow. 2 months later, the wedding was set. The church was decorated with white flowers, golden ribbons, and bright lights. Emily wore a beautiful white gown, and her veil covered her face. The pastor blessed them in front of the church. The Lord has brought you together. May you never be separated, he prayed. Everyone clapped. Her mother cried tears of joy. Emily's father shook hands with the guests. Peter lifted her veil and smiled. You are the answer to my prayers, he whispered. Emily felt tears well up in her eyes. Thank you, she whispered back. But inside, her heart was pounding like a drum. That night, in a quiet hotel room in Abuja, Emily and Peter was finally alone. He looked at her lovely, his eyes full of trust and excitement. Emily, he said softly, I waited so long for this moment. I am so glad God gave it to me. Emily's hand shook as he gently touched her cheek. She remembered all the things she had hidden for years. She remembered Cynthia's parties, the boys, the secret things she had done. Peter kissed her forehead. My beautiful, pure Emily, he whispered. Emily closed her eyes. She tried to smile, but her mind was screaming. As Peter slowly began to undress her, Emily felt her secrets rising like shadows in the night. Peter paused. His hand froze. His eyes grew wider. Emily, he whispered, his voice trembling. Emily's heart stopped. Peter's face turned pale. He stepped back, his eyes fixed on her with shock. Emily, what? What is this? Emily's lips quenched. She couldn't speak. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Peter's breathing grew heavy. How? How could you? He whispered. Emily tried to open her mouth, but no words came out. The room fell silent. The air grew heavier. 2 weeks had passed since Emily and Peter's wedding night, and the excitement of newly wedded life had begun to settle into routine. Peter was a lovely husband, always checking on Emily, praying with her, and making sure she was happy. But something strange started happening in their home. Every time Emily removed her clothes, even just to change, a faint but unmistakable smell filled the room. It was a strong, foul odor that made Peter's nose wrinkle. At first, he thought it was just a trick of the air or maybe something she ate. But the smell did not go away. It grew stronger, like a dark secret hidden in the shadow. Emily, he asked one evening, trying to sound casual. Do you notice anything odd? Maybe a new soap or something? Amy shook her head, her face calm. No, honey, everything is fine. Peter forced a smile. Okay, he said, though his heart told him otherwise. Amy knew exactly what was going on. Before the wedding, she had gone to a hospital in Abuja for a checkup after feeling uncomfortable. The doctor had examined her and quickly explained, you have been penetrated through the anus many times. That is why there is an unusual discharge and smell. It's not something that can be easily hidden. Emily had left the hospital trembling. The memory of those nights with strangers came flooding back. Cynthia's friends, parties she wished she could forget. The doctor had advised her to take care of herself, to use pads, even if they weren't meant for that. So Emily had started wearing a pad, even on days she wasn't on her period. It helps, at least for a while, but Peter was growing suspicious. One night, Peter returned home earlier. He sat on the edge of the bed, his eyes dark with worry. Emily, he said, his voice trembling, please, I need to know what is wrong. I love you, but this smell is not normal. Emily's heart pounded in her chest. I don't know what you are talking about, she whispered. Peter stood up, his face pale. Emily, I'm your husband. I have a right to know. Emily's eyes filled with tears. She looked away. Peter took a deep breath. If you won't tell me, then we are going to the hospital together tomorrow. Emily's body went cold. The next morning, Emily dressed slowly, her hands trembling. Peter drove her to the hospital. He held her hand, but his grip was tight. Inside the hospital, they waited for hours. The nurse took her in for tests, blood, swabs, and an examination that made Emily's skin crawl. When she came out, Peter was pacing the floor. His eyes were full of worry. Finally, the doctor called them in. Peter held Emily's hand, squeezing it gently. Emily looked down, avoiding his gaze. The doctor cleared his throat. Peter, Emily, he began. We have completed the test. Peter's eyes widened. Doctor, please tell us what is wrong with my wife. The doctor's face grew serious. Peter, he said slowly, I'm afraid it's something we don't usually see in women who... Emily's breath caught. Peter gripped tightened. Doctor, please tell me, what is it? The doctor sighed. I'm sorry, Peter. I have to be honest with you. So what do you think the doctor discovered about Emily? What was the shocking truth that left Peter speechless? Could Emily's secret finally come out? Peter gripped tightened around Emily's trembling hand as he stared at the doctor with desperate eyes. Doctor, please tell me, what is it? The doctor sighed heavily, his gaze shifting from Peter to Emily and then back again. He took off his glasses and rubbed his forehead as though the words he was about to speak were too much for him to carry. Peter, he began slowly. I have to be honest with you. This isn't easy for me to say, and I know it won't be easy for you to hear. Peter's heart raised, his mind clenching with worry and confusion. Amy kept her head down, her tears dripping onto the cold white hospital sheets. Doctor, please, Peter pleaded. Just tell me. The doctor inhaled deeply, choosing his words with great care. Peter, he said quietly, our tests and examinations have confirmed your wife has definitely been penetrated. He paused, then continued with a grave tone. Specifically, she has been repeatedly penetrated through the anus. Peter blinked, his mind frozen. What? He whispered. Emily let out a small, strangled sob. The doctor pressed on gently. It's consistent that the symptoms you described, the odor, the irritation, and the discomfort, this kind of repeated penetration causes changes in the tissues that are difficult to hide. Peter's sword went blue. He gripped the edge of the chair, his knuckles white. He felt like he had been punched in the stomach. Doctor, he said through clenched teeth. Are you saying that? The doctor nodded slowly. Yes, Peter, I'm saying that even though she's married now, and although she has, he glanced at Amy awkwardly. She has clearly been penetrated through the anus. The medical evidence is very clear. Emily buried her face in her hands and wept. Peter, please, I'm sorry. I never meant for it to get this far. I just wanted to belong. I just wanted to fit in. Peter shook his head in disbelief. Emily, why? Why didn't you tell me? Why did you hid this from me? Emily's voice trembled. I thought I could cover it up. I even started wearing pads and perfumes to hide the smell. I did not want you to find out. I was scared. I did not want to lose you. Peter's chest heaved. You thought you could hid something like this from me? You thought I would never find out? Amy reached out to him, but he recalled. Peter, please, I was afraid. I thought it would go away. I went to the hospital before, and they told me it was because of what happened. I don't want you to hate me. Peter stared at her, his eyes red and wet. Emily, he whispered, his voice hushed. You were supposed to be my wife. You were supposed to trust me. The doctor cleared his throat. The room filled with a heavy, suffocating silence. Peter, he said quietly, I know this is very hard to accept. I will give you some time. I'm sorry. Peter barely heard him. His mind was a hurricane of pain and betrayal. Emily sobbed, her tears soaking her cheeks. Peter, please forgive me. Peter stood up absently, his tears scrubbing the floor. He turned away from her, his fists clenched. I need to think, he muttered, his voice shaking. Emily reached out, but he was already at the door. The doctor watched them, his face sober. Emily's cries filled the room, echoing in Peter's mind as he walked away. What will Peter do next? Will he forgive Emily? Can their marriage survive this revelation? Peter stood by the window of their small bedroom, the city lights casting long shadows across his face. The words of the doctor still echoed in his mind like a curse he could not escape. Repeated penetration through the anus. He could still hear Emily's cries from that night. See the way she had reached out to him, begging him to understand, but he couldn't. He couldn't find it in his heart to forgive her. Every time she came close, the memory of her deception, the shame he felt, the laughter he imagined from friends and family, it all came crashing down on him like a wave he couldn't swim against. That night, he packed a small bag of her things, just enough for her to go back to her parents' house. He folded her clothes in silence, each piece a reminder of the promises they had made and the trust she had broken. Emily stood in the doorway, her eyes red and swollen from crying. Peter, please, she whispered, her voice trembling. Please don't do this to me. I love you. I was afraid, that's all. Peter did not look at her. Emily, he said in a low, steady voice, I can't live with this. I can't live with what you have done. I don't think I can ever trust you again. She took a step towards him, her hands outstretched. Peter, I made a mistake. I don't know how to tell you. Please forgive me. I will do anything. He turned then, his eyes cold, but wet with unshed tears. Emily, he said softly, but firmly, I can't forgive you. I'm sorry, but I can't. Her knees buckled and she fell to the floor, wailing. No, Peter, please, don't send me away. Please, I beg you. I will die if you send me back home, please. Peter closed his eyes and turned away. I'm sorry, Emily, but I have made my decision. The next morning, he called her parents. They arrived quietly, their faces shadowed by disappointment and sorrow. Her mother's eyes were hard as she looked at her daughter. Her father shook his head in silence, refusing to speak. Emily was led away from the house she had hoped would be her home forever, her face hidden behind her palms, her sobs moved by shame. Peter watched from the doorway, his heart heavy with grief and anger. He wanted to run after her, to hold her, to forgive her, but the pain was too deep. The trust had been broken beyond repair. As the car carried Amy and her parents drove away, Peter felt a strange emptiness settle in his chest. A space where love had once lived, now replaced by cold silence. The heart felt too big, too quiet. He sat in the living room alone, staring at the walls. The end. Moral lesson. In life, secrets, no matter how well hidden, will always come to light. Trust is a fragile bond that once broken can be impossible to repair. Always remember, honesty is the foundation of every relationship. Deception only brings pain and loss, not just to ourselves, but to those who love us. The end. Thank you guys for watching my story, and please come back for more stories. I love you.